मंगलाचरण। अखिल रसामृत मूर्ति प्रसृमर रुचिरुद्ध तारकापालि कलित श्यामा ललितो राधा प्रेयान् विधुर्जयति। Welcome to today's class. We are discussing the 36th verse of the first wave of the first section, the Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu. So, I will need to recap some part of the previous class also. So, let us do that. So in the 35th verse, it was said, Sadhanoghair anasangair alabhya suchiradapi harina chashvadeyeti dvidha syat sudurlabha. Describing the fourth characteristic of pure devotion to Krishna. The fourth is that it is extremely rare to be attained. And these characteristics, we know that they manifest in the Bhāva-bhakti stage. There are three broad stages of bhakti. Sadhana bhakti, that is bhakti when we are practicing the acts of Krishna bhakti in order to attain love for Krishna. Then there is the stage of Bhava Bhakti, which is almost the perfect stage of bhakti. So it is the stage where one experiences loving emotions for Krishna, loving feelings in a particular relationship for him. Then the last goal, the last stage of bhakti is Prema Bhakti, or loving devotion for Krishna. Okay. So there one's love for Krishna becomes perfect. So here, Rupa Goswami in this particular Karika, in the shloka, he says that bhakti, when practiced with lots of sadhanas, lots of means, lots of methods, it is unattainable, alabhya, suchiradapi. So for a long time, if you continue practicing various methods for attaining bhava bhakti, loving feelings for Krishna, you will not attain it. So if you do those things without attachment, so Jiva Goswami considers the word sadhana here and the next verse to mean the path of the methods of karma marga, the path of karma, and the methods of jnana marga, the path of jnana. Karma marga means engaging in Vaidika activities that are recommended for oneself, thinking that they are necessary for one's progress in Krishna Bhakti. So if you do those various activities thinking that they will help you in bhakti and attaining loving feelings for Krishna, your bhakti is covered by karma and you will not attain Krishna prema, you will not attain bhava bhakti through that path. So here the word Rupa Goswami uses to describe sadhanogha, the hundreds of methods, is anasanga. Anasanga means non-attached, that does not have asakti in it. If you do the practices of karma and jnana without any attachment, then you will not get bhava bhakti. Even if you practice the paths of karma and jnana with a lot of attachment, with a lot of dedication, and with a lot of attachment with bhakti, you are mixing Krishna bhakti in your practices of karma and jnana, and you are continuing those practices in that way with the addition of bhakti, even then you will not gain love for Krishna. Okay? Harina cha ashu adeya. Bhagavan Shri Hari will not give it very quickly. So in these ways, in these two ways, Hari Bhakti is extremely rare to be attained. Vishwanath Chakravarti, of course, we saw he has a different understanding of this verse. If you do Shravanam, Kirtanam, Vishnu Smaran, if you do hearing about Krishna, if you engage in those acts of Krishna Bhakti, which are direct Krishna Bhakti, do them without attachment for Krishna, then for a long time, if you do those actions, if you do engage in those acts, you will not get Bhāva-bhakti. Even if you have a lot of attachment for Krishna and you engage in the path of Krishna Bhakti, Shri Krishna will not give Bhāva-bhakti very quickly. It means that he will give Bhāva-bhakti after some time. That's why Bhāva-bhakti, loving feelings for Krishna, are said to be extremely rarely attained. Now, in the 16th verse, Rupa Goswami says, he refers to a particular Tantra Shastra, Satvata Tantra or something. So there he says, Jnanata Sulabha Mukti Bhuktir Yachyadi Punyata Seyam Sadhana Sahasrair Hari Bhakti Sudurlabha. Mukti is very easily attained through the path of jnana, and material enjoyment is easily attained through the punya, through the piety you gain through yajna, Vedic sacrifices, and so on. But this Hari Bhakti, devotion to Krishna, is very difficult to be attained, very rarely attained, sadhana sahasra, by thousands of various methods. Here, Jiva Goswami has commented, Vishwanath Chakravarti has not commented. So Jiva Goswami says that here, the statement that mukti is easily attained through jnana and material enjoyment is easily attained through yajna and other activities, you have to understand that this means that when they are done with asanga, when jnana and karma marga, they are engaged with attachment. Attachment means expertise. So that's what he says in the commentary, naipunyam. And expertise means adding bhakti to your practice of jnana or karma. So if you practice the Vedic path, you do your Vedic duties of doing that yajna and following those duties of Brahmana, Kshatriya, Vaishya, Shudra or whatever. So when you do those things properly, you will get material enjoyment. If you want son, you do this yaga. If you want swarga in your next life, you do that yaga. You get material enjoyment in that way. But you should do those karmika activities with the addition of Hari Bhakti. Vishnu Bhakti should be there. Without the mixture of Vishnu Bhakti in your Vedic yajnas, your yajnas will not yield the desired result. You will not get material enjoyment through those yajnas if they are disconnected from worship of Vishnu. On the also, a person who is on the jnana marga, cultivating knowledge of oneness between the jivatma and the parama, when that person adds devotion to Vishnu in his practice, then he very easily attains liberation from birth and death. But if he does not have any element of devotion to Vishnu in his practice of jnana marga, he will never get that liberation from birth and death, which is the goal of jnana marga. We have seen this in the previous class. Now, I want to bring your attention to this sentence. Vakyartha kramabhangasya vashya pariharyatvat. So, Vakyartha kramabhangasya vashya pariharyatvat sahasra bahulya siddheshcha. So, there should be a full stop after this word, a danda. Okay, a vertical line should be there indicating that the sentence has completed. other editions of Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu have that. So he is giving the reason that if you do not accept that sasangatvam, being attached, sasangatvam literally means being attached. It means adding Krishna Bhakti to your jnana practices and karma practices. If you do not understand those practices to be sasanga, then vakyartha kramabhanga will occur. So, the second half of the sentence says, Hari Bhakti sadhana sahasrai sudurlabha. Devotion to Sri Hari, or means Bhāva-bhakti for Sri Hari, is extremely rarely attained by sadhana sahasras, by thousands of sadhanas, by thousands of methods. Okay. So, you have to accept sadhana sahasra also as being sasana. One point is that you have to attain your practice of jnana marga, karma marga to be connected with Krishna Bhakti. Also, you have to understand the second point is that sadhana sahasras, the thousands of methods which you employ, they also have to be connected with Krishna Bhakti. Otherwise, there will be vakyartha kramabhanga. There will be a disruption in the sequence of the meaning of the sentence. Okay. Why? Because jnana does not give bhakti, give mukti easily. Okay. Only when you add bhakti to jnana, you get mukti. Yajna and etc., they will not give you material enjoyment unless you add Krishna Bhakti. So, addition of Krishna Bhakti is implicit here. It should also be implicit in this sentence. If it is not implicit, if you say that if you do not add Krishna Bhakti, then by doing thousands of methods, you will not attain Hari Bhakti, then there will be a disruption in the sequence of the meaning of the verse, of the meaning of the sentence. Okay? Jnana and karma have the mixture of Hari Bhakti. The thousands of methods which you employ, they don't have a mixture of Krishna Bhakti. That meaning cannot be had because there is nothing to say that this is not having the asanga, it is not having the attachment. So, these thousands of sadhanas, these methods which you employ, they should also have the connection with Krishna Bhakti. Okay? Also, another reason he gives for that is that Sahasra Bahulya Siddheshcha. You cannot explain the plural formation of the sadhana sahasraha. Sadhana sahasra means 1000 methods. Sadhana sahasrah means multiple thousands of methods. And then it is in the third case, third vibhakti, sadhana sahasrai becomes a plural of that. So, that plural, thousands upon thousands of methods, that plural cannot be explained if you don't understand those methods to be done with attachment, with addition of Krishna Bhakti. Okay? It means multiple attempts you are making. You are making this attempt, it did not work. Then you made some change. You made that attempt with some change. So you went on, employing your methods thousands of times. It means that you are doing those paths, practices of karma and jnana with the addition of Krishna Bhakti for thousands upon thousands of times, thinking that one day you will attain Bhāva-bhakti for Krishna. So that is a fallacy to think like that. Okay? Bhāva-bhakti for Krishna cannot be attained by karma or jnana, even if you add Krishna Bhakti to it, even if you do those practices for thousands of years or thousands of births even, you will never attain the state of Bhāva-bhakti through that. Yeah. So we saw all these, the later things also. So we have to begin with this word, this sentence. Any question? Someone has any doubt so far?
No, all this jnana and karma, when you're talking about sacrifices and doing yajna and so on, they have to be done in a certain precise manner. If you make mistakes in the process, yeah, you can, at the end, you say, please forgive my mistakes and so on. But you're not going to get the result. So I'm supporting Jiva Goswami's statement that all the jnana and karma and so on, yes, there are paths to attaining mukti, but they're going to take a long time because you have to learn the process, then you have to practice it multiple times till you get it error free. And then you have to do it thousands of times before you can get the same, um, before you can get Baba.
Now, see, the point he is making here is that uh, you can get mukti through jnana, and you can get bhukti, means fulfillment of your material desires, through karma, through Vedic yajnas. But you can never attain Krishna bhakti through jnana or karma. That is the point he makes. He wants to say that Krishna bhakti is extremely rare. These other paths, these other methods cannot help you attain that. Right?
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
So let's continue. अथ हरिभक्ति शब्देन साध्यरूपो रतिपर्यायस्तद्भाव एव उच्यते. So now he says, by the word Hari Bhakti, which is there in the shloka of the Tantra which Rupa Goswami has quoted, Hari Bhakti Sudurlabha. This word Hari Bhakti should imply Sadhya Rupa, Rati Paryaya Tadbhava. The Bhava for Krishna, Bhava-bhakti, which is also called Rati. Okay, Krishna Rati, Bhava-bhakti is called Rati also. So it is a sadhya form of bhakti. It is an accomplished form of bhakti, a very developed form of bhakti, which one should strive to attain. So this word Hari Bhakti indicates that particular level of bhakti. That's what he says, and he supports that with the statement of Srimad Bhagavatam, 11th Skandha, 3rd chapter, 31st verse. Bhaktya sanjataya bhaktya itivat. So let's see 11.3.31. Sorry, I typed the wrong thing. Oh, it is by default taking this 0 in it. Yeah, I have to do something else. Eleven three 31. स्मरन्तः स्मारयन्तश्च मिथो मिथो घौघहरं हरिं भक्त्या सञ्जातया भक्त्या बिभ्रत्युत्पुलकान्तनम्. Thinking of Sri Hari and motivating others also to think of Sri Hari means reminding others of Sri Vishnu, Sri Krishna. So among themselves, uh, Krishna's devotees, they discuss about Krishna in that way. They motivate others to always think of Krishna, and they also think of Krishna themselves. In this way, bhakti leading to bhakti, bhakti that creates bhakti, through that devotion, their bodies, they become extremely happy, these devotees, and that happiness, that immense happiness, extreme happiness becomes manifest in the form of their body hair standing on its end. So bhaktya sanjataya, bhaktya is the thing that Jiva Goswami focuses on. bhakti that is generated by bhakti. It means the stage of Bhāva-bhakti, loving emotions for Krishna. How do you get that? You get it through bhakti itself. Sadhana bhakti. Bhakti in practice. Sadhana bhakti leads to Bhava bhakti. Bhakti cannot be gained through any other thing, anything other than bhakti. Bhakti is self-manifest. Yeah. So the stage of Bhava bhakti, you get it not from anything other than bhakti, but from a form of bhakti only. That is sadhana bhakti. Bhakti in the state of practice. So therefore, in that shloka of the Tantra, the word Hari Bhakti should mean Bhava Bhakti, Rati, love for Krishna. Tatascha. And then sadhana shabdena Hari Sambandhi sadhanam eva uchyate. So this word Hari Bhakti means Rati or Bhava Bhakti. And the word sadhana here means the practices that are in relation with devotion for Sri Hari. With expertise, with attachment, sasanga. They are in connection with devotion for Sri Vishnu. Tat sambandhitvam vina tad bhava janma yoga. Why do you have to consider like that? Because without the actions being connected with devotion for Sri Vishnu, it is impossible for the loving feelings for Vishnu to arise in oneself. So, tad bhava janma ayoga. You have to consider the word sadhana to be activities connected with Sri Vishnu. Because if they are not connected with Vishnu, there is no chance of getting loving emotions for him. So now the point is that the verse says, so according to Jiva Goswami's understanding, this Bhava Bhakti for Vishnu, this loving devotion for Vishnu, cannot be had by various methods which have a relation with Vishnu. They cannot be had by karma, jnana, which have relation with Vishnu. Even if you add Vishnu Bhakti to karma marga and jnana marga, you will never attain Bhava Bhakti for Vishnu. That is the idea Jiva Goswami is saying. Okay? तथा च also साधन शब्देन साक्षात् तद् भजने वाच्ये तत्र पूर्वक्रमतः सासंगत्वे लब्धे सहस्र बहुत्व निर्देशेन अपरेवसानात् सुशब्दाच्च भीतस्य कस्यापि तत्र प्रवृत्तिर्न स्यात्. Okay? If you say that the word sadhana here means sakshat hari bhajan, sakshat tat bhajan means sakshat Vishnu bhajana, direct worship of Krishna, direct engagement in devotional activities for Krishna, like hearing about Krishna, glorifying him, uttering his names, thinking of him, worshipping him in the deity form in the temple. All these Shravanam, Kirtanam, Vishnu Smaranam, the Navadha Bhakti. If you say that sadhana here means sadhana bhakti, then on the application of the word sahasra, thousands of practices of sadhana bhakti if you do. And then from the previous half of the verse, you also have the word sasanga. Those practices done with attachment, done with expertise. Okay. So, doing sadhana bhakti, Sravanam Kirtanam, thousands of times, means many repeatedly you are engaging in them, and doing them with attachment also, with expertise also, you will not get Hari Bhakti. Hari Bhakti would be extremely difficult to attain. Bhava Bhakti will be extremely difficult to attain through sadhana bhakti. Then a person will never take up to the practice of bhakti. Sadhana bhakti he will never take up because he will be afraid. What is the use of wasting so much time in hearing about Krishna and uttering his names and so forth if it is impossible to gain Bhava Bhakti through this. Okay, Hari Bhakti Sudurlabha, it is extremely rare, you say. So thousands of times, even if I engage in sadhana bhakti for thousands of times, and thousands of births if I engage, and even if I have expertise in that, doing that very well, I will not get bhava bhakti for Krishna. A person will never then take up Krishna bhakti, sadhana bhakti itself. Okay. That is not the meaning of this shloka. The word sadhana here does not mean bhakti sadhana, does not mean direct worship of Krishna, direct devotion to Krishna. It means your practice of karma marga, jnana marga done with addition of Krishna bhakti. That's what it means. So if you do those methods, if you follow those paths of karma, jnana with some mixture of Krishna bhakti, if you do that for thousands of times and thousands of births with attachment, with addition of Krishna bhakti, you will still not get loving devotion for Krishna. That's the point he's making. Okay? So, tena tatra sulabhatvam tu. So, actually, the correct understanding is that Bhava Bhakti or loving devotion for Krishna is very easily attained through sadhana bhakti. If you directly engage in the acts of Krishna bhakti, like hearing about him and glorifying him and uttering his names, thinking about him, you will very easily attain loving feelings for him. Bhava Bhakti will be attained very easily. That's what is said in the Srimad Bhagavatam also. शृण्वत श्रद्धया नित्यं गृणतश्च स्वचेष्टितं नातिदीर्घेण कालेन भगवान् विशते हृदि 283. Oh yeah, I now understood what mistake I made while searching earlier. I should have SB 283. What is the problem? 283. It's a different verse here and different verse in the Veda base. Okay. Let's see. Yeah, it is 284 here. शृण्वत श्रद्धया नित्यं गृणतश्च स्वचेष्टितं कालेन नातिदीर्घेण भगवान् विशते हृदि. For a person who with faith is hearing about the activities of Sri Krishna regularly, always is hearing about him, and regularly he is also glorifying the activities and leelas of Sri Hari. So then in a very less time, not a very long time, means a very little time, Bhagavan himself will enter into the heart of this devotee. It means one will get loving devotion for Krishna very shortly, very soon. It will not take a long time. So sadhana bhakti very easily helps one progress to the stage of attaining or feeling loving emotions for Krishna. That's the point. So sadhana bhakti does not take a long time, and you will attain loving feelings for Krishna very easily. So he refutes the understanding that sadhana bhakti, even if you do for a very long time, bhava bhakti will be very rarely attained. No, that is not the right understanding, and he refutes that with this shloka. Supports his refutation with this shloka. Also, in the Srimad Bhagavata 1.5.25, it is said, Tatranvaham Krishna Kathah Pragayata Manugrahena Tashrddhaya me nupadam vishrinvatah priyashravasyangamama bhavadrati. Sri Narada is recounting his past life to his Shishya, his disciple Vedavyasa. So there he explains, I was every day listening to the descriptions of the activities of Krishna by those great devotees who had come to the house for Chaturmasya. And by their mercy, I listened to the descriptions of Krishna, his activities. Okay. I listen to those descriptions with faith, with Shraddha. So at every step of my listening to this Krishna Katha, I could experience a rise in affection for Krishna. Priya Shravasi Anga Mama Abhavadrati. So, O Vyasa, I developed love for Krishna. I developed loving feelings for Krishna, who is called here as Priya Shrava. Priya Shrava means the one, uh, he whose activities are very pleasing to listen to. Okay? He who does very such activities that they are very pleasing to listen, or he who, about whom is pleasing to hear. Priya Shrava. It is very pleasing to hear about him. That's why he is called Priya Shrava. So that's what Narada also says, that every day I was listening to the Krishna Katha, and while I was listening to that every day continuously, progressively I developed uh, rati, love for Krishna. That is Bhāva-bhakti, loving feelings for Krishna. And it is well known through these verses. Ityado prasiddham tasmat sadhana shabdena न साधयति माम योग इत्यादिवत तदर्थ विनियुक्त कर्मादिकमेव उच्यते. The word sadhana in that shloka of the tantra quoted by Rupa Goswami, this word sadhana here should mean not bhakti sadhana, not sadhana bhakti, but it should mean न साधयति माम योग इत्यादिवत तदर्थ विनियुक्त कर्मादिकमेव. Just as Krishna says to Uddhava in the 11th skanda of Bhagavatam, 14th chapter, 20th verse, Na sadhayati mam yoga, na sankhyam dharma Uddhava. O Uddhava, one cannot attain me through yoga, one cannot attain me through sankhya or through dharma. Okay, let's see that shloka. SB 11, 14, 20. न स्वाध्यायस्तपस्त्यागो यथा भक्तिर्ममोर्जिता. Vedic study, by that one will not attain me. Austerity will not attain me. Sannyasa will not help one attain me. Tyaga. Bhakti, that is Tivra Bhakti, Urjita, very potent Bhakti, that will attain me for sure. Yatha Bhaktir Mamurjita. So, in this verse, Krishna says that Na sadhayati mam yoga. Yoga cannot attain me as much as bhakti can attain me. Sankhya cannot attain me as much as bhakti can attain me. Dharma, Vedic duties, cannot attain me as much as bhakti can attain me. Vedic studies, Svadhyaya, Tapastyaga, Sannyasa. By these you cannot attain me in the way you can attain me through bhakti. So, just as Krishna says that you cannot attain me through this, through that, through this, through that. So these various paths through which one cannot attain Krishna, they are to be understood by the word sadhana in that verse of the Tantra quoted by Rupa Goswami. Okay? Karma cannot attain him, yoga cannot attain him, jnana cannot attain, like that. It does not speak about bhakti sadhana, but sadhana which is karma sadhana, yoga sadhana, jnana sadhana, and so forth. Okay. Any questions here?
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. I'm just thinking about this the Bhagavad Gita shloka in which like Krishna says this yoga brashtas, they get this shuchinam shrimatam gehe, that is, they get born in the family of virtuous or or materially rich people, so that he doesn't feel left out. Like
Yes.
he may not have. Okay. So in the bhakti context, now for the bhakta, the moksha is very tuchya, right? Is very, very, very lowly. So for him, Krishna Bhava, I mean, Krishna Prema is the highest goal. And yes, you just briefly touched upon it. So if he's not successful in that, what does he get in return? I mean, he just gets another chance to do that, or
Yes, he gets another chance to do that in the family, in situations which are favorable to that cultivation. That same principle will apply. Yoga bhrashta vijayate. So he has been on the path of bhakti yoga. So he will continue his practice from there, very left.
okay, okay,
Yeah.
thank you.
So anyone else has a question? All right. So then Jiva Goswami says, अत एव साधन शब्द एव विन्यस्तो न तो भजन शब्दः. Therefore, in that tantra verse quoted above, the word sadhana is used instead of the word bhajana. If you say bhajana sahasra, by thousands of acts of worship of Vishnu, you cannot attain Bhāva-bhakti. Then you could have said that this verse says so. But the word bhajana is not used. Instead, the word sadhanam is used. Sadhana means karma sadhana, jnana sadhana, yoga sadhana, all these things. Okay. तस्य सासंगत्वं नाम च तदर्थ विनियोगात् पूर्ववत् नैपुण्येन विहितत्वमेव तत्साहस्रैरपि सुदुर्लभा इत्युक्तिस्तु साक्षात् तद्भजनमेव कर्तव्यत्वेन प्रवर्तयति. So also we know that there is the understanding that these sadhanas are sasanga, they are with attachment, they are with expertise, means as we have understood from the previous explanation, purvavat naipunyena vihitatvam. Doing those practices with expertise, and that is adding Krishna bhakti to these karma, jnana and yoga practices. When you do these activities for thousands of times, even by them, sahasra rapi, even if you do them for thousands of times, and okay, Bhāva-bhakti is sudurlabha, is extremely rarely attained. Okay? So this statement is there to make one understand that one should engage in only direct worship of Sri Krishna. Tad bhajanameva kartavyattvena pravartayati. Okay? One should only engage in direct bhakti for Krishna. Shravanam, Kirtanam, Vishnu Smaranam, Archanam, Vandanam, Sakhyam, Dasyam, Atmanivedanam. Okay.
Could you just highlight, okay, what is that saksha? What is the direct bhakti? Is there an indirect way of doing it?
Yeah, so indirect bhakti means mixed bhakti. Engaging in karma marga, Vedic practices. Engaging in jnana marga means cultivating knowledge of oneness with Paramatma. And also having some devotion for Vishnu. You worship Vishnu, bow down to him, have respect for him. But you are thinking that this is the main activity, okay, doing yajna, doing this charity and dhanam and all these things. And all this cultivation, waiting of knowledge of oneness with Paramatma is the main thing. Side by side, you also do worship of Vishnu. That is an indirect path, and by indirect in the sense that is the wrong path. By that, you will never attain Bhava Bhakti for Vishnu. By that, you can attain material enjoyment or liberation. That is easily attained by that. You will not never attain loving feelings for Krishna. So for that, you should only do direct engagement in Krishna Bhakti, means only engage in Krishna Bhakti without the mixture of karma or jnana, without your bhakti being covered by them. Okay? That's the understanding. Then he says, Tathapi karikayam anasangēriti yaduktam tatra cha asangena sadhana naipunyameva bodhyate tannaipunyam cha sakshat tad bhajane pravritti. Also, he says, Tathapi still, in that karika which we saw earlier, karika means Rupa Goswami's own composed verse. His own composition is this. Okay, this is the quotation from a tantra. This is his karika. Here, he has used the word anasangai in the previous verse. Anasangai, sadhanavaghair anasangair labhya suchiradapi. So the word anasangai here, which was mentioned there, tatra cha asangena sadhana naipunyameva bodhyate. By the word asanga, it is understood expertise in sadhana. Expertise in sadhana, your practice. And what is that expertise? Tannaipunyam cha sakshat tad bhajane pravritti. Direct engagement in worship of Krishna. Direct engagement in worship of Krishna is asanga, is the expertise. Okay. So, your practice of karma and jnana, even if you engage direct, even if you add direct worship of Krishna, some hearing of Krishna Katha, some worship of Krishna, if you add that, but your main practice is something else, karma and jnana, then you will never attain loving feelings for Krishna. So, the thing you should engage in is that only the worship of Krishna. Tad bhajanam eva kartavyam. Oh, people say, oh, I am worshipping Krishna, I am going to his temple, I am uttering his names and like that. But still I am not getting Bhāva-bhakti. So the point here is that you should only engage in Krishna bhakti. You should not engage in karma marga or jnana marga. You should not be attached to your Vedic activities and duties. You should not be attached to cultivating knowledge of oneness with Parama. Such practice of Krishna will give you.
But Parashi, yeah, but you say you should not engage in karma, but in Bhagavatam itself in book 11, they talk about doing, you have to do the karma to which you have been born into. So
No.
as a twice born, you have the Upanayana, you have to do your morning, afternoon, and evening sandhya.
See, the point here is that you don't have to give up karma. You don't have to give up your Vedic duties, but you should not be attached to those activities.
Okay.
You should know that basically you should not be interested in doing those activities because you do not have any desire to fulfill through those activities. Okay, you should do those activities only because it will set a proper example for other people. You don't want to disturb the tradition of your community, of your family by doing that, by not doing it. You want to continue your family tradition and maintain it in order to set a proper example for common people. But personally, you should not be attached to doing those Vedic activities. Attached in the sense you should not have any desire to be fulfilled by those actions. Also, you should have lost any interest in those actions because you think that they are not helpful for attaining Krishna Bhakti, love for Krishna. Karma will not help you attain love for Krishna in any way whatsoever. So, you should do those activities only with this non-attachment. That is the idea. Okay. So then your bhakti will not be covered by karma and jnana. Okay. Tatascha तस्य तादृश सामर्थ्ये अपि अन्यत्र स्वर्गादौ प्रवृत्त्या न विद्यते आसंगो नैपुण्यं येषु तादृशैर्नाना साधनैरित्यर्थः. Furthermore, although direct bhajan for Krishna is capable of giving you loving emotions for Krishna, giving you love for Krishna. They can, sadhana bhakti can very easily give you bhava-bhakti. Still, on knowing this, you are engaged in Vedic karmas to attain Swarga in your next life and so forth. And because of that, you are not engaging in pure Krishna Bhakti, exclusive bhajan of Krishna, and you are engaged in karma marga in order to fulfill your desires. Okay. By such sadhanas, by such various practices of sadhanas, you will not attain bhava bhakti for Krishna. तादृश नाना साधनत्वं तु न इष्टम. Okay. But it is not desirable for one to engage in all these various other practices of karma, jnana, and yoga mixed with direct bhakti of Krishna. That kind of sadhana is not the desired thing that one should do. As said in the Srimad Bhagavatam, Tasmadekena manasa Bhagavan Sattvatam Pati Shrotavyah Kirtitavyascha Smartavyaschatam Bhayam. In the second chapter of the first skandha of Srimad Bhagavatam, Sri Suta Maharaj tells to Shaunaka and other rishis, therefore, with one pointed focus, one should hear about Bhagavan Sri Vishnu, Sattvatam Pati. One should glorify him and one should think about. If you wish to gain fearlessness, if you wish to gain liberation, yes, it is the promised result of Jnana Marga. If you wish to gain liberation or anything else, with one pointed mind, you should hear about Krishna, glorify him, and think of him. With one pointed focus. Only focused on this, hearing about Krishna, glorifying him, and thinking of him. Only that. No karma activities, no jnana activities, no yoga activities. That should not be your concern. Your concern should be only that. So with this sakshad bhajanam, you will attain your objective. Okay? And this sakshad bhajanam should be exclusive only. Okay? It should be done without any mixture, without karma, jnana, yoga, and so forth. Tasmad itara mishrita api na yukta. Therefore, this sadhana bhakti should not be mixed with other things. Itara mishrita api na yukta. It is not appropriate, it is not proper to mix your direct Krishna bhajana with other practices. You say that I do this also, I do karma also, I do bhakti also. It's not recommended. Do bhakti exclusively. Then you will attain whatever you want. You will attain material enjoyment if you want it. You will attain liberation if you want it. But these are insignificant results. You should only want the shelter of Krishna's feet, love for Krishna's feet. Okay? Iti sadhu eva lakshitam jnana karma dhyanavritam. Therefore, it is very properly defined. Rupa Goswami has defined bhakti very properly. Jnana karma dhyanavritam. It should be not covered by your jnana or karma practices. That's it. This we saw definition of pure bhakti in the first pada. This is the first pada. In the 11th verse of this very pada we saw. Jnana karma dhyanavritam. Anya vilashita shunyam jnana karma dhyanavritam. Okay. Any questions someone has, any doubts?
No, why this one can understand the karma part where, like, if you have desires and like, you persecute, I mean, you prosecute them by, like, indulging in more of karma, like yajnadi karmas, etc. You're kind of like, you're very much tied up to this world. But the jnana marga is also one which wants you to get out of this and it's fairly like, it's not as mundane as the other one. But uh, why is the Bhakti Marga completely looked down upon the Jnana Marga?
Oh, good question. Because the goal of Jnana Marga is not to please Krishna. That is one point answer. Goal of Jnana Marga is not to please Krishna. That's why it is contrary to one's pursuit of bhakti, which is the pursuit of loving Krishna, pleasing Krishna. So, the goal of jnanis is to attain oneness with Paramatma. Okay? Understanding that I am Brahman, I am the Supreme. That kind of identification is the oneness. And that is diametrically opposite to the conception of bhakti of a devotee who considers I am a servant of Krishna. Okay. So the main focus of the jnani is to attain oneness with the Supreme, but the main focus of the devotee is to become subordinate to the Supreme. So this concept of attaining oneness with the Supreme is totally against the concept of being subordinate to Him. Because for being subordinate to Him, you have to acknowledge that He is different from you and you are different from Him. For Gyanis, he does not consider like that. Okay? Because this conception of Jnana Marga is striking, is damaging the very heart of bhakti, is damaging the very heart of devotion, which considers oneself as a servant of Vishnu. Therefore, it is totally discarded by the devotees. Okay? Even karmis are more agreeable for the devotee. If you have to choose, either associate with a person attached to karma marga or associate with a person attached to jnana marga. You don't have any other choice. So then a devotee of Krishna will prefer the association of a person attached to karma marga and not the association of person attached to jnana marga, because the main conception of jnana marga is I am the Supreme, which a devotee detests. Okay, he detests like hell. Kaivalyam narakayate. This is what Prabodhananda Saraswati says, his experience. The attainment of oneness with the Supreme is like hell. If I think of that, it is extremely detestable for me. Okay. That's why Jnana Marga is totally discarded by the devotees. Yeah. That's the idea. Does that answer?
But it's a valid means, right? I mean, the Lord or He has given you the option, and one is
Yeah,
expressing
it is
that
the
option.
means you can attain liberation, you can become identify with Him, and you can be liberated from birth and death. But that you can attain. It is not said that you will not attain.
No, it's not about that. Like, it's for example, if I'm just giving a very mundane example. Let's say you have to, because it's tax filing season, you have to file tax, and there are some ways in which you can take a rebate, or you can't just say, oh, the guy who's taking a rebate, he is a sinner, like, or rather he's trying to cheat the government.
Yeah, not at all.
Yeah. So similarly, uh, the there are five different unions, right? Like Salokya, Sarupya,
Yes, yes.
Sayujya, etc. These are all very, very much valid,
Yeah.
options given by the Lord. So why should one, have an opinion that these are detestable and others are, only my way is supreme?
Yeah, because Bhagavan gives that liberation because there are people who desire that. They are not on the same level. Yeah. Yeah, this liberation in the form of identifying with Bhagavan is also available to asuras whom Vishnu kills. Okay, so the asuras killed by Krishna, they attain liberation. And they don't have any devotion for Krishna, and he gives liberation to these asuras. So if a person is practicing the Jnana Marga, wanting liberation, that liberation is also available to those demons killed by Krishna. So therefore, it is not a very high good. It is a valid good. One acknowledges that. But a devotee detests it because it is impalatable to the devotee. It is extremely impalatable to him. Yeah. So that opportunity is there. Opportunity is there in the Shastras given by Bhagavan. It is there. But it is not likable. It is extremely impalatable for the devotees. That's why it is detestable for the devotees. From the absolute viewpoint, it is, you can say, not detestable. But once one has the conception of devotion for Krishna, then from the relative viewpoint of that devotee, if you want to say that the devotee's viewpoint is relative, then you can say that from the devotee's viewpoint, that attainment is detestable. That is the point. Yeah.
Okay. I mean, we have not come across people who have attained union with the Lord, nor have we come across people who have. I mean, I'm sorry to say, I mean, probably like either way, but but then there's this lot of this argument. I mean, it's okay. I think. Thanks for your answer. I'm not very convinced about it, but I'll keep trying.
No problem. Okay. So there are verses given here in the two verses together. Let's see if we can discuss this. Yatha Panchama Skandhe, Sri Rupa Goswami gives support for his idea that bhakti is sudurlabha, is extremely rarely attained. So, fifth skandha, Srimad Bhagavata, 6th chapter, 18th verse. Rajan patir gururalam bhavatam yadunam devam priyah kulapatih kvacha kinkaro astvev manga bhajatam bhagavan mukundo bhukti mukting dadati karhichit smana bhakti yogam. So, Narada is telling to Yudhishthira, O king, Krishna is related to you, the Pandavas, and also the Yadus. So he is your master, he is your advisor, and he is your worshipable Lord, he is your well-wisher, and he is your Kulapati, master of your lineage. And also for you, Pandavas only, he became a servant, an order, he carried out your orders. So on your behalf, he went as Shanti Duta, a peace messenger to the assembly of Dhritarashtra. So in that way, he became your servant, but not of the Yadavas. Okay. So astu eva manga, let it be. Okay. Let it be the great mercy of Krishna on you. He is so merciful on you and the Yadavas. But for those who engage in his bhakti in this world, Bhagavan Mukunda, mukting dadati karhichit smana bhakti yoga. He gives mukti to those who worship him. But sometimes he does not give bhakti yoga. He does not give loving devotion for him. He does not give bhava-bhakti for him. Bhava-bhakti for him is very rarely attained, even by those who worship him in this world. Only sometimes he gives, sometimes he does not give bhava-bhakti. It is so rare. But you are so fortunate that he became your servant and became your advisor and your master and everything. He loves you so much, which is so rare. That's what he wants to bring out. It is extremely rare that you are having this kind of loving dealings with Sri Krishna. Because we see in this world that sometimes he does not give loving devotion for him to those who worship him in this world. So Jiva Goswami comments, Karhichin na dadati, sometimes he does not give bhakti means that sometimes he gives bhakti also. Because asakalye to chitchana. Chit and chana, these particles are used in the sense of not including everything. Sometimes he does not give bhakti means sometimes he does give bhakti. He does give Bhāva-bhakti. So that's why in this shloka, Sri Narada did not say karhichid api. He did not say karhichid api na dadati. He did not say he never gives bhakti. Karhichid api would have meant he never gives Bhāva-bhakti. But he says without api. He says sometimes he does not give. It means sometimes he gives. So tasmat आसंगेनापि कृते साधन भूते साक्षात भक्ति योगे सति. This edition has some words missing in this sentence. For that I refer to the Bengali edition here by Haridas Das Babaji. तस्मात् आसंगेनापि कृते साधन भूते साक्षात् भक्ति योगे सति यावत् फल भूते भक्ति योगे गाढ़ासक्तिर्न जायते तावन्न ददाति इत्यर्थ. The meaning is that while one is engaging in sadhana bhakti, direct worship of Krishna, Shravanam, Kirtanam, Vishnu Smarana, when one is doing it directly, exclusively, as long as one does not have firm attachment for phalabhuta bhakti yoga, as long as one does not have firm attachment for bhava bhakti, if you don't desire it extremely highly, okay, means gadha saktir nasyat. As long as you are not extremely attached to bhava bhakti, which is the result of sadhana bhakti, phalabhuta, it means, yeah, so as long as you don't develop strong attachment for that thing which you want to attain, that is love for Krishna, till that time, Krishna will not give you Bhava Bhakti. Okay? While engaging in exclusive sadhana bhakti for Krishna, hearing about him, uttering his names and so forth, you are doing it all the time, constantly. But as long as you don't develop strong attachment, okay, very deep attachment for attaining love for Krishna, till that time, Krishna will not give you love for him. Okay, he will make you hanker for that. You have to develop attachment to attain that. Your mind has to be occupied to attain that loving devotion for Krishna. Only when you have that hankering, exclusive hankering for Krishna's prema, you don't want anything else in this world, nothing else in this world can satisfy you, only that you want. You want only love for Krishna. When you develop that kind of a mood, only then Krishna will give you love for him, not otherwise. That's what Jiva Goswami has said. Tathaiva lakshita, tathaiva cha lakshita. So this is the characteristic of pure bhakti that Rupa Goswami has defined. Anyabhilashita shunyam. One should not be desiring anything else other than pleasure of Krishna, devotion to Krishna, love for Krishna. Okay? You should have only this desire, and that unless you have the desire to attain, the exclusive desire to attain love for Krishna, Krishna will not give you, even if you are engaging in Shravanam, Kirtanam, Vishnu Smaranam exclusively. Even if you are doing worship of Krishna exclusively, as long as you don't have a deep, strong desire to develop love for him, Krishna will not give you love for him. That shows the rarity of love for Krishna. Any questions here? Any doubts? Okay, so there is Vishwanath Chakravarti's commentary also, which is a longer commentary. So we can discuss it in the next class, next week. Thank you so much for participating in today's class.
Thank you,
Pranam.
Parasthi.
Hare
Sarvam
Krishna.
Shri Krishna Arpanastu.
Hare Krishna.
Radhe Shyam.